American Pickers star Fritz is expected to pay over $273,000 a year in medical bills despite his low income after he suffered a horrific stroke. Frank, 59, was hospitalized for a stroke on July 14 and has been recovering at a rehabilitation facility. Frank's friends filed an emergency appointment of temporary guardian and conservator for the star on August 18, claiming his decision-making capacity is so impaired. In court papers exclusively obtained by the U.S. Sun, conservator Midwestone Bank filed an initial plan that revealed Frank's monthly expenses. Frank spends $28,292 monthly on expenses, including $22,832 on in-home health care. The health care alone will cost $273,984 yearly for the star. Other expenses include $1,250 in food, $850 in health insurance payments, $500 in transportation, $250 in clothing, and more. The monthly expense is alarming, as Frank's annual income is just $60,000 from investments. But according to the court papers, Midwestone Bank provided a plan for Frank to make more money. The court papers read, "Assets will be invested to start generating income for Mr. Fritz." The conservator has not inventoried Frank's many collectibles and antiques, but they plan to leave them largely as they are now. The conservator will work with the guardian to integrate Mr. Fritz into management decisions as he continues to recover. A checking account with a small balance will be available for Frank's personal use. The conservator will also work to apply for disability income for the protected person should he be eligible. When asked how long the conservatorship is expected to last, the bank responded unknown. Frank was unemployed at the time of his stroke. He has no debt listed. HEALTHCRISIS. Frank was hospitalized for a stroke on July 14 after a friend found him on the floor of his Iowa home. The U.S. Sun previously reported Frank would be under temporary guardianship and conservatorship. The documents read, "Because of his stroke, Mr. Fritz's decision-making capacity is so impaired that he is unable to care for his own safety or to provide for necessities such as food, shelter, clothing, or medical care without which physical injury or illness may occur. Mr. Fritz's decision-making capacity is so impaired that he is unable to make, communicate, or carry out important decisions concerning his own financial affairs." An exhibit was mentioned in the court papers from a doctor confirming Frank does not have decisional capacity. The legal papers continued, "Decisions must be made for Mr. Fritz's care and placement, while he continues to recover and receive treatment for his injuries. Appointment of a guardian and conservator is necessary to avoid immediate harm to him." The petitioner requested a separate longtime friend of Frank's, who has been assisting him in decision-making since the stroke, be his guardian. The bank is the conservator to handle Frank's financial affairs. The guardian and conservator were both approved by the court. Frank has been at a rehabilitation center since he was released from the hospital on September 6. By the time of Frank's discharge from the rehabilitation center, his Iowa farmhouse must have ramps and handles for the shower and toilet. The guardian will help Frank with his Crohn's disease treatment and continued physical therapy. He will also help the former American Pickers star grocery shop, cook, and get Frank to any activity he feels up to. Frank's FIRING. Frank last appeared on American Pickers during a March 2020 episode, as he took time off to recover from back surgery, which left him with 185 stitches and 2 rods in his spine. During his time off the show, Frank lost 65 pounds. He also told the U.S. Sun that he entered rehab for alcohol addiction in Iowa for 77 days. Frank previously said, "I went to rehab and I've been sober now for 11 months. I didn't like drinking anymore. My mom was an alcoholic and she died 5 years ago, and it was alcohol-related. My grandfather was an alcoholic and he died. That didn't sit well with me." Frank said of his time in treatment, "They gave me a lot of information and we were booked up for 13 or 14 hours a day. There was no sitting around watching TV or eating food. You were scheduled out for an hour, then an hour and a half, all through the day. They really give you a lot of one-on-one time. I read 12 self-help books while I was there. I didn't FK around. I really got into it. I went there to learn and get the most out of it that I possibly could. I had a great time there, and I helped other people who were having problems too. It's one of the best things that have happened to me. Frank continued that he goes to meetings twice a week after the stint.